Are you ready, Niner faithful, to once again dive headfirst into the relentless, exhilarating, and often heart-stopping whirlwind that is the San Francisco 49ers offseason? Because just when you think you've caught your breath, just when you believe you've got a handle on the roster, the news cycle explodes, reminding us all that in the NFL, the only constant is change, and for our beloved Niners, it's often a torrent of both triumph and tribulation. Today, we're dissecting a flurry of moves and whispers that could dramatically shape the very fabric of this team as we hurtle towards 2025. First, let's confront the elephant in the room, the relentless adversary that seems to stalk our sidelines with an almost cruel persistence: injuries. It feels like a broken record, doesn't it? Just as one promising talent begins to shine, another is sidelined, forcing John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan into a perpetual game of roster chess. The latest chapter in this ongoing saga sees the 49ers making a smart, strategic signing at wide receiver, bringing in a familiar face in Malik Turner. This move comes on the heels of the disheartening news that wide receiver Jordan Watkins is expected to miss about a month, perhaps even longer, with a high ankle sprain, a notoriously tricky injury that often lingers. Watkins' absence, combined with the general thinness that has plagued our wide receiver room throughout training camp, necessitated immediate action. Enter Malik Turner, a player who is now embarking on his third stint with the Niners. This isn't just a random camp body. Turner is a battle-hardened, undrafted free agent out of Illinois who has truly had to claw his way through the professional ranks. At 6 feet 2 inches and 202 pounds, he possesses good size, and while he may not be a burner, his long strides and competitive nature at the catch point make him a valuable asset. He's proven his mettle too, especially in the UFL playoffs, where he absolutely exploded for 269 receiving yards and 4 touchdowns in just 2 games last year, even cracking the top 10 in receiving yards during the regular season. The 49ers have clearly developed an eye for UFL talent, with Turner, along with edge rusher Jalen Allen, being prime examples. Turner's familiarity with Kyle Shanahan's intricate scheme is a massive plus, allowing him to step in immediately for joint practices against the Raiders and potentially suit up for the second preseason game. Crucially, he can also contribute significantly on special teams, a phase of the game where every snap counts. However, every silver lining often has a cloud. The corresponding roster move to make room for Turner was the placement of defensive end Bradley Anae on injured reserve. This is a genuine bummer, Niner faithful. Anae, despite not being the twitchiest player, consistently demonstrates a remarkably solid pass rush plan. He led the 49ers with 3 pressures in the preseason opener against Denver, showcasing the disruptive potential we've been craving. Remember, this is the same Bradley Anae who was the most productive edge rusher in the UFFL earlier this year, and Robert Saleh, his former coach with the New York Jets, even believed Anae was destined to make the Jets' 53-man roster before he tore his ACL during OTAs in the spring. I legitimately thought he had a real shot to make our 53-man roster as a backup edge rusher, and his consistent production in practice, including a stretch where he had 3 would-be sacks in a row, only reinforced that belief. It's yet another frustrating injury setback for a team that seems to collect them, forcing us to once again rely on our depth and the next man up philosophy. Now let's pivot from the immediate roster shuffle to a story of raw ambition, unyielding confidence, and the kind of dog mentality that makes you want to run through a wall. We're talking about our very own number 1 cornerback, Deommodore Lenoir. As we look ahead to 2025, Lenoir has set his sights not just on being the best cornerback on this Niners team, but on being the best in the entire NFL. And you know what? I absolutely love it. This is the kind of audacious goal setting that separates the good from the truly great. Lenoir, in my humble opinion, is criminally underrated. Think about this. Over the last 3 years, he has given up just 1 touchdown in coverage. Let that sink in for a moment. 1 in 3 years. That's an astonishing level of consistent production. He's also shown an incredible willingness to adapt, seamlessly transitioning between playing inside in the nickel role or locking down receivers on the outside, whatever the Niners need of him. He is a steady, reliable, and increasingly dominant force for this defense. on the Richard Sherman podcast, Lenoir didn't hold back, articulating the chip on his shoulder that fuels his relentless drive. "I still feel like I don't get that respect of a person that's been in the league 5 years, who only gave up 3 touchdowns my entire career," he told Sherman. "My mindset is just being a lockdown corner. I feel like I've transitioned to this role to be this cornerback 1. What's needed for a top corner is usually to shut down the best wide receiver. And I feel like I've just been ready for that and that challenge. And I made a name for myself in this league." He continued, "I was just telling Robert Saleh, then I'm ready for any challenge. If it's got to be 99 plays in man or 99 in zone, I'm willing to back up anything I put out there. I feel the money didn't change me. I've always had the love for the game. I've always played this game with just love and pure want to. Some people, they just wake up and they say it. But actions speak louder than words. I'm more one of them guys that just likes to work. I'd rather come in and work and prove my worth. That Niner faithful is the mental makeup of a champion. That's why the 49ers view him as a franchise pillar, a foundational building block for this defense, and why they wisely shelled out approximately $18 million per year to keep him in the Bay Area. The organization, thankfully, has learned the invaluable lesson of paying players early, a strategy that can save millions in the long run given the ever-inflating salary cap and the increasingly expensive cornerback market. Had Lenoir hit free agency after his stellar 2024 campaign, there would have been a bidding war, and the Niners might have been outbid. But he's here for the foreseeable future, and this defense is undeniably better for it. His ambition, his quiet confidence, and his unwavering commitment to proving his worth are precisely the qualities you want in a leader on the field. Speaking of strategic roster management, let's shift our gaze to the safety position, where a fascinating logjam is developing, raising a tantalizing question. Will the 49ers have to trade a player to alleviate the congestion? And if so, could it be their 2023 third-round pick Jair Brown? The landscape at safety is crowded to say the least. Malik Mustaf, once he returns from the PUP list after his ACL surgery this offseason, is expected to be a starter. Jason Pinnock, a cheap addition in free agency, has impressed with his long, lengthy athleticism and his ability to play downhill. The Niners have also liked what they've seen from former second-round pick Richie Grant, another shrewd, cheap free agency acquisition. And then there's the rookie fifth-round pick out of Kansas State, Marquise Seagull, who has already started getting first-team reps and could realistically contend for a starting spot in his inaugural 2025 season. So, where does that leave Jair Brown? Last year, in 2024, he visibly struggled under then-defensive coordinator Nick Sorensen, and those struggles have unfortunately continued throughout training camp. This begs the question, when did he play his best football and under whom? The answer, my friends, is an old, familiar face, former 49ers defensive coordinator Steve Wilks. Now, before you groan about Wilks' play-calling malpractice in that Super Bowl-losing drive against Kansas City, and yes, I went back and watched it again, it was indeed malpractice. Let's remember he's no longer our problem. He's now the new defensive coordinator for the New York Jets, and here's where it gets interesting. The Jets could very well have a need at the safety position. Steve Wilks is a known admirer of Jair Brown. During the pre-draft process, Wilks was reportedly pounding the table for the Niners to draft the safety out of Penn State. And I'll admit, I was high on Brown coming out of college myself, recognizing him as a very smart player who played with a lot of feel. But if Brown isn't performing up to expectations in the current scheme, and with such a glut of talent at the position, the Niners might elect to simply move on and cut bait. However, if San Francisco wants to extract some value back for a player they might otherwise release for nothing, a trade with the New York Jets, given Wilks' affinity for Brown and the Jets' potential need, becomes a highly logical destination. This is a situation we absolutely need to keep a close eye on as we approach that nerve-wracking 53-man roster cut-down day. The chess pieces are moving, and the stakes are incredibly high. As we wrap up this deep dive into the latest 49ers developments, what's clear is that this team is constantly evolving, adapting, and battling. From the relentless challenge of injuries to the inspiring ambition of a player like Deommodore Lenoir and the strategic complexities of roster management, the Niners are never dull. They are a team built on resilience, talent, and a burning desire to win, and every move, every quote, every practice rep is a piece of the puzzle that will define their 2025 season. We've got a new weapon in Malik Turner, a defensive leader in Lenoir who's aiming for the stars, and a fascinating trade scenario brewing at safety. The drama, the excitement, and the sheer unpredictability of the NFL are all on full display. Now, Niner faithful, I want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on Malik Turner's return? How high do you think Deommodore Lenoir can climb on his quest to be the NFL's best cornerback? And do you believe the 49ers will or should trade Jair Brown? Let us know your take in the comments below. Your passion and insights fuel this channel. And while you're at it, if you're looking to rock some fresh Niners gear, we've got an incredible deal on a high-quality 49ers hoodie right now. It was $80, but it's on sale for just $48 for a limited time. Head over to chatsports.com/NinersHood to grab yours. You won't find a better discount on an item of this quality. Don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed this report and subscribe to the channel for all the latest breaking news, in-depth analysis, and passionate discussion about our San Francisco 49ers. We're always here, always covering, and always ready to talk Niners with you.